All right, we've all been there. A perfect sunset, the sky's on fire, and you think, just a few more minutes, please. Could you, I don't know, outrun it? If you hopped in your car and floored it west, could you stretch that gorgeous light into a forever twilight? Let's find out.
So here's the setup. A sunset happens because you, standing on the Earth, are being rotated away from the sun. The Earth spins eastward at about 1,000 miles per hour at the equator. That's the speed the Terminator line, the shadow of night, is moving across the planet. Your goal? To match speed with it. To stay in that golden sliver where the sun is just setting.
It's not about chasing the sun. It's about running away from the shadow of night at the exact same speed.
First, the math. Sorry, but we need a little. At the equator, that sunset line is moving at about 1,000 miles an hour. That's not great for your Toyota Corolla. That's Mach 1.3, supersonic sunset. You'd need a military jet, and even then, you'd be burning fuel like crazy just to keep the sun perfectly frozen, dead on the horizon.
But you're smart. You're not at the equator. Let's say you're in Kansas. The Earth is a sphere, and as you go north or south, the circle you spin in gets smaller. Your rotational speed drops. In the middle of the US, you only have to go about 700 to 800 miles per hour to keep up. Still jet territory, but a slightly less frantic jet.
Now here's where it gets fun. What if you could drive a normal car? Let's do the compromise. You don't need the sun frozen, you just want it to set slowly. Like over an hour instead of a few minutes. How fast do you need to go? A typical sunset lasts 2 to 3 minutes. Let's be ambitious and say we want to stretch it to a whole hour. That's about 20 times longer. So you'd need to go roughly 1/20th of the full stop the sun speed. In Kansas, that's about 35 to 40 miles per hour. Hey, that's a totally normal speed. This is it. This is the hack. Get on a straight westbound highway, cruise at 40, and enjoy your extra long sunset, right?
Well, not quite. Here comes the reality check. The first problem, geography. You need a miraculously flat, straight road pointing exactly due west, with no traffic lights, no hills, no ocean getting in the way for the entire hour. Good luck with that. The second, bigger problem, atmosphere. This is the real sunset killer. When the sun is right on the horizon, you're seeing it through the thickest part of Earth's atmosphere. This air acts like a lens, bending the sun's light upward. What you're seeing is a mirage. The actual sun is already below the geometric horizon, so you're already fighting a phantom. That beautiful, flattened, reddened sun disk is on borrowed time. By trying to chase it, you're essentially chasing a projection on a smoky screen. The atmosphere distorts and ultimately swallows the show, no matter how fast you go on the ground.
So can you drive west to lengthen the sunset? Technically, yes, but only by a pathetic, almost unnoticeable amount. If you're going a normal highway speed of 70 miles per hour, you might buy yourself an extra 20 or 30 seconds of that last sliver of sun. That's it. You're not stretching a 3-minute sunset into an hour. You're stretching it into 3 minutes and 23 seconds.
The universe is kind of a buzzkill that way. The scales are just too huge. You're a tiny human in a tiny car on a giant spinning rock. To really beat the sunset, you'd need to be in a high-altitude jet where the horizon is farther away and the atmospheric effects are smaller. Even then, you're just negotiating for minutes, not hours.
But here's the takeaway. The impulse is beautiful. That desire to hold on to the light, to race the darkness, it's deeply human. And in a weird way, driving west at sunset does change the experience. You're actively participating in the planet's rotation. You're feeling the orbital mechanics in your gut. For a few extra seconds, the world feels slower, and you feel a little more connected to the clockwork above. So next time you see a sunset, by all means, get in your car and drive west. Just don't do it for the extra light. Do it for the poetry of the attempt. And because the view from the driver's seat is still pretty great.
Got an everyday phenomenon you want us to take to its absurd extreme? Let us know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this scenic route through orbital mechanics, hit that like button and subscribe for more thought experiments that ask the weird questions you're too smart not to wonder about. Thanks for riding along. See you next time.